association with this class is that we're gonna be, using found papers to make these books that are scroll form. And we're gonna be doing, I'll demo to you, the idea. But, yeah, anyway, some of his work is just beautiful. Some of it looks like city streets, kind of like this. Some of them intentionally are supposed to look like city streets. Some of them have messages in them. A lot of them have to do with the American Black experience and, the lens he sees it through, and, traumatic events that have happened to him because of that. So, if you go to the Broad, several of his pieces are there, and he's represented by a gallery in downtown LA, and I'm sorry, I don't remember the name of it. But he's got a piece in the restaurant that's next door to it, and he had a whole exhibit there. I made the mistake of asking how much the painting, the piece of art was, and the guy looked at me like I was out of my mind. So, I do not travel in those. Tens of millions of dollars, this guy.
Wow. That's what he wants, millions?
Really, tens of millions.
Tens of millions. Oh,
tens of millions, and and he's the cutest, sweetest guy, honestly. So there was a picture I sent for the class of me meeting him, because they had an exhibit, and I dragged a friend of mine. We go to art exhibits together to see this. She had never heard of him. And he was sitting at the table next to us in the restaurant.
Oh my gosh.
And the waiter pointed it out, and I just went up to him when he was done, and I said, "Thank you for your wonderful art. I saw a yellow bird in the Broad, and after that I just fell in love with your work," and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
So to shut me up, he hugged me. And honestly, and then my friend took pictures of it. So. Anyway, it was great, and it just shows you what kind of person he is. So, we're going to use found paper for our project, and let me. Oh, I'm sorry. Of course,
I don't.
And can I have one, Marion?
Okay.
Can I have one as well?
Yes, you certainly have. You can have two. Okay, so the project we're doing, we're going to do both of these if we have time. If we don't, take whatever you don't finish. And if you want to start with a wooden spool, fine. If you want to start with this kind of spool, fine. I'm going to leave it up to you. But basically what we're going to do is we're just going to make strips of paper of whatever kind of paper you want. I have atlas paper, which, by the way, makes fabulous backgrounds for stuff. You can embellish it in any way you want. I have rubber stamps. I have washi tape. We're going to make a closure for it so that it stays closed. And then we're going to make a cover for these, because you see how beaten up they are. We're going to put paper over it so that you won't see that. And then we're going to put something, on top just to make it look kind of special. So I have embellishments there, and and if you think you have something at home that'll work better, that's cool too. And then the other thing you need to, you probably know this, is paper has a grain, and paper will roll more easily in one grain than in the other. So this is wallpaper, and it, was on a roll to begin with, and you can see that it just wants to wrap itself. If you use the atlas paper and you try to roll it this way, it's going to buckle. But if you roll it this way, you won't have so much trouble with it.
I'm just going to see which way it wants to go.
So see which way it wants to roll. And so basically what you're going to do is you're going to cut strips that are the width of your spool and glue them together and embellish them. And so we have obviously the atlas paper, we have scrapbooking paper, we have calendar paper, we have handmade paper, wallpaper. You can collage on the pieces of paper. I have a whole bunch of amazing colors for the rubber stamps. One fun thing, I think with text or letter stamps is just to stamp all over randomly. That's one cool way to make a background paper, so that's an option you have with these letter stamps, or you can make a message, or you can, you know, write someone's name or make some kind of special gift for somebody. So those are different ways to use these, and these are all stamp pads in too many colors.
Wow.
So yeah, wow is right. So when you connect your, you know, roll, I would encourage you to wrap the whole, whatever you call that thing, the center part, the whole spool first, you know, like a sew, so that the whole thing's covered, okay? And then when you open it up, you know, you're gonna, you know, it's gonna look finished. And you're gonna wanna do something with this part too. You can paint it, you can, you know, do that before you work. You can collage little bits of things on it. You can use markers. We have markers, colored pencils. We have paint. I would say here, it's better to use markers or colored pencils or collaging, just because of, you know, the paint adding an extra dimension of mess. So, and then you can do whatever you want to your heart's content at home, obviously. So yeah, so you want to wrap the whole thing, glue it down, and you could use this to glue your center part down, and then your glue sticks to attach the little pieces together. I'm not encouraging you necessarily to start with one long uniform piece unless that's your vision. I think it's really fun to use short pieces of varying kinds of paper, and then, you know, make your own little tapestry, so to speak. And then you can collage on that, stamp on that, put markers, whatever you want to do. And then, so I think the best thing to do is start out with your strip, and then we'll attach it to your spool, because you may want to color this before you attach your strip, this raw part inside. You're definitely going to want to cover the top with paper. So keep in mind how you might want to make that unified. You can cover the whole up and then glue something on top of it. I would encourage you to do that rather than to, you know, try to make this look real nice. It's not that easy. I think it's just easier to just glue something on top. And if you have an idea, and Tobin or I can try to look for it in the store if it's not up here.
Can we use Mod Podge instead of the glue?
You can, but Techie glue and Mod Podge are very similar. I mean, glue is glue. Glue is glue. Mod Podge is just a brand, and a fairly expensive one, actually. Okay. So Techie glue is great. Elmer's is great. If you want Elmer's, that's very similar to Mod Podge. Yeah, if you feel comfortable with Mod Podge, we do have some. So you certainly can use that, you know. But it's nice to experiment with different glues and see what they do. Any other questions? I mean,
We have sandpaper.
oh, okay. All right, we're getting a little ahead of ourselves.
Oh, okay, no,
but-
you don't have to answer it.
No, it's fine.
Oh.
So what we're gonna do is glue your paper to here, but you're not gonna cut it to the form. You're just gonna glue it so that it's bigger. And it could be square, it could be a regular shape, but it's gonna be bigger than this.
Right.
After it dries, you take your sandpaper, and this is a very good way to cut it like this, okay? So that's why we have the sandpaper, and feel free to, if you're fighting over it, just tear it in half. Tear it in half, cut it in half, whatever. But that's, yeah, so that's why. Okay, so you can, I mean, obviously after you glue it and you cut really well, great, but I am not a good cutter. I'm always cutting into the substrate or something anyway, so I really like the sandpaper method for getting it to be exactly
I
right.
understand it would be a good idea. This says I have a 1.5 by 9 foot was ribbon.
Mhm.
So if I made my 9 foot strip
I
first.
wouldn't, don't even go there. Don't even go there. Just make it strip.
well,
And if
eight
it's
strips,
too
okay.
short,
Huh?
make more. Don't go thinking, don't think too much.
Don't think too hard.
No, no, no.
Okay.
Just make what you like, and then if it doesn't have to fill it up.
Okay.
It can be smaller, because we're gonna be putting a closure on it
Right,
with buttons and ribbon.
okay.
And that will require a little bit of sewing. So, okay, kids? All right, have at it. Where did this come? Oh, this is mine.
But the thing, Mary, I do need to make this width though, right?
You have to make that width. Yes, that's the only thing that you have to do. Yeah. And then we have paper cutters, by the way, over here. So, and then, I know we have rulers, but you can kind of eyeball it. If it's a little bit too small, don't worry. If it's a little bit too big, you can cut it down. So I just wouldn't worry too much about it when we get it. Oh, and the center of the paper is, the more you're going to use,